Um, Hi there. Today I thought I'd speak a bit about happiness. I think people think too much of happiness. I think they think that there's some crazy, you're either sad and crying all the time, or you're up in the clouds constantly, but that's not necessarily true. And if you are right now feeling quite down in the dumps, and you have been for quite a while, and you kind of just want to get out of the dumps, I think I've got a few tips that kind of helped me start to feel a little bit better about myself and everything, and just made me have a bit of a more positive outlook on life. The first thing is, don't worry if you still got a sad day. Striving for happiness constantly, 24/7, is basically an impossible endeavor. That can't happen. But you also don't have to have bad days every single day. That also shouldn't happen. And I know that when I first kind of started to pick myself up and go okay, I don't need to cry myself to sleep every night, I would have really good days, and then I would have really, really bad days, and just feel like I got too happy during the happy days, and I lost control of myself, and then here I was crying again, and back to the start, and I would never find happiness again. And I think I finally came to the realization that you just can't be happy all the time. Yeah. Come back here. Yes. And if you do have a bad day, or if one of your friends gets mad at you, or a member of your favorite band leaves, and you're crying for 6 hours, you won't be crying for 6 hours for the rest of your life. You can still find this happiness again, and so you shouldn't get frustrated. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, I'm so excited because it was for me. I didn't think it would be, but I found it. Why? And so the next thing is, it's actually a book called It's Gonna Be Okay. I got this little book, and of course, and it's called It's Gonna Be Okay. And I kind of thought it would be a little cheesy and dumb and wouldn't work and wouldn't make me feel good at all. That wasn't true. So inside this book there's a quote. Well, first there's a lot of words. Wow, just an intro. And then there are, on every page, there's kind of a little quote about continuing on and being happy. And then on this side, you write what you're worried about and what you think might go wrong or could go wrong, or maybe the reason you can't sleep that night. And down below, I don't know if you can see, there's a little, oh, my fingers are so dirty. There's a little thing that you check off on how well you think this thing can turn out. But when you close the book and go to bed and you have that quote in your mind and you've written out a paragraph, I write a ton for these. I have a lot of worries, but you write them out, and then you might still be worried about them, but you feel good about putting them down. And so I can honestly say that this writing my worries down every night this helps. I have dark lips on. I never have dark lips on. Another thing, I have a little list here. Is dancing a little. That seems funny, because some of us are bad at dancing. Just can't get enough of you. The petals down, my eyes are closed. No. I think if you're in a supermarket and you hear your favorite song come on, you just need to go for it. And I think letting yourself go a little bit in places, whether it's in the car with your friends, or alone in your bedroom, or at the supermarket with your mom, those tiny little things will just kind of make you lift your spirits up a tiny bit. And in addition to this, if you're listening to a lot of sad music, you can't dance to that a lot. I know there are some really great songs out there that are nice to cry to, but find some good songs that make you want to jump up and do some freaking weird dance moves, because I can tell you it makes you feel a little better afterwards. And that sounds really crazy. If someone told me that, I'd be like, shut up, you just want to shake your butt in public. but it's true. And you don't have to shake your butt in public. The next thing is take some deep breaths. We actually talked about this in my health class. She called it mindfulness, and I have to say, I thought it was a whole lot of BS. That taking some deep breaths will help you. What? And I actually had tried it before. Like, my parents would be like, okay, just take some deep breaths before your test. And I was like, okay, yeah. And it didn't help. Not at all. But then I remember during my driver's ed test, I was terrified for it. I pretty much felt like I was going to throw up from the second I went to bed the night before up to the moment when I was sitting in front of the computer and clicking off what maintenance you need to take care of a trailer. And so every few questions I stopped and I closed my eyes and I totally composed myself and I just took in big breaths and counted to 3, and held them for a bit and let them out. And just 3. And then I did this before a rowing race I had. And so I've just kind of started frequently doing this just because it helps you compose yourself. When you take in your breath, just kind of think to yourself, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I'm not gonna lie, you probably won't believe it at the time, but if you do it, later on, you'll feel just a little bit stronger, you'll feel a little bit better, and you'll probably feel a little bit happier with what you're doing, because you feel like you have more control over yourself. Just me, it works. I have Jane Austen band-aids on. Another one is complimenting people. So I started to think, maybe I'm not necessarily feeling too great about myself, but while I'm at it, I can do other people good. So make yourself a little goal. Like maybe compliment someone, just give one person a compliment that day. Or compliment someone in every one of your classes, or just compliment one of your best friends, or your parents, or siblings. Just a little goal to yourself. Just some nice things to pick someone else up, and actually seeing them be a little bit happier can help make you feel like, oh, I just made someone happy. What? I made you happy. Or doing also not necessarily complimenting someone, but holding the door for someone. And I started holding the door open for people more often. Then saying thank you just kind of makes me feel like, okay, you're welcome, I love you. And I think it just makes you feel a little bit better because you're knowing that you are doing other people good, so you must not be that bad because you're causing good, and so it's okay. And the last one is another journal. I keep a lot of journals and I kind of feel like they're a bit like contaminated with a lot of bad thoughts and just sad, like I'll write down bad things that happened that day or like bad things, and writing down the sad things can be good for you, but put aside a journal for that. What you also need is a little happiness journal that's only for happy thoughts, and maybe you won't write in it every night because you might not have some happy thoughts every night, but bring it around with you. Write down a funny thing your friend says, write down a funny thing you saw, write down, even if just in a moment you're thinking, I smell tacos, I love tacos, write that down. Just keep a little journal designated for only happiness. And then when you are feeling a little down and you feel like you want to write something sad or draw a sad picture or just write down, I want to cry right now, open this up and see that at one point you were happy and you can do it again. And so I have this little one and it says Boston on it. It has all the little like Boston monuments and things in Boston. And there's only happy things allowed in this journal. And it makes me feel good to know that there's just one part of my life that is totally and entirely designated to happy thoughts and happy things. Woo! Anyway, I hope that these things will help your day-to-day, just make you feel a little bit better, and a little bit happier, and it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So,